makes me want to talk about life and death? First, I personally live with a condition called V. Leiden. It's a genetic mutation of the blood, which means that at any time I could get a blood clot and die from it. And in fact, I was just diagnosed with one yesterday, and now I have to be on this medication. But it's a genetic mutation in my body that could take me out anytime. Alhamdulillah, thank God I'm still alive. Also, what made me want to talk about it is friends on here mentioned they lost their little ones. They lost a 5-year-old child or a baby, and then others lost their mom, dad, their siblings. So I wanted to dig deep into it, not just because I live with it every day, knowing that, hey, it could be my last, but it makes me live it to the max and try to be happy. But also, what happens when we die? What happens to our loved ones, and what happens to us? So that's the topic we're going to talk about right now. So we can look at life as a train. You know, a train ride, you get on at one station. This is my own analogy that I thought of. God sent it to me. Angels, I don't know, somebody, or my intelligence. Think about it as a train ride. You get on at one station, and then you're on the train. You're like traveling. While you're traveling on the train, you're building a house in the train. You're forever alive in the train. You know, you think that this train ride is everything you got, and you're building, right? You're building. You're hoping for that train ride. However, the train ride gets to a stop, and you have to get out, and you leave everything that you built. The only thing you take is yourself. This is a great analogy that, thank God, I thought of, that symbolizes life, and that's like what life is. I know for sure that we are not this body. We are soul in the body, right? And once the body stops working due to some kind of mechanical defect, biological defect, you get shot, you get sick, the body gets sick. So then we have to leave it and say goodbye, body, goodbye. However, this body is at the same time a suit that allows us to experience this reality. Think about it this way. If you're an astronaut and you want to experience space, right? You first have to get into a space suit so you can interact with space, because you can't survive otherwise. Same goes with the body. In order to interact with this whole reality around you, you have to have a body, because it's a machine that interacts with this reality. So what's my proof? My proof came when I was a little girl. I lost my mom very early on, like I was 14, 15 years old when she died. And I remember I was in school when she died. And when she was dying or letting her last breath out, I just walked towards I got up in the middle of class, I walked towards the window, and I held my stomach, and I was like, ugh. Like something left my body when she took her last breath. And after I saw her in the hospital, when I got there, she came to greet me to my car. Like I said, I'm very sensitive. I perceive these things. And she was like bouncing as light everywhere. I'm like, Mom, is this you? And she's like, like I could hear her in my head. Yes, it's me. And I'm like, unbelievable, And so I'm going up the stairs, and she's bouncing all over like happy, happy, happy. And I finally go there, and I touch my mom's dead body, and I'm like, my mom's not in here. She's all over here, all over the room. And so that prompted me not only to study life and death, but also to learn religions and so on and what happens. So what's happening is basically we're in an experience. We get out of the experience. We have a new experience, a forever experience, right? And we see all our loved ones, etc. So it's not the end. Death is never the end. It's just a transition. And you can see it in any religion. Then I'll tell you some stories. I have a friend. She was very sick since she was 18. She's still alive today. She got cancer when she was at 18. Still alive, big fighter. And we were talking on this topic one time, and I asked her, because she's been clinically dead a few times. I said, what happened? And she said, well, once I died. She's like, I was in a hospital. I was really sick in Madison, Wisconsin. I died, and I came into like a light, and I saw houses, and I started feeling so good. And she said, I had no pain anymore. I was feeling beautiful, positive. I was starting to get happy when the doctor brought me back. They brought me back here. And she's like, I was screaming so much, they had to tie me to the bed. I said, I believe you, because I've seen it myself. So not to say that like, oh, let's hurry up and die. No, because even the Quran and the Bible, and so this is a life of tests. You can have beautiful 3-4 days, 3-4 years, and then boom, you have a terrible year and you're in depression and so on. So it's an ebb and flow here, and we're not here forever. We're here for a short time, and eventually we all die. So it doesn't matter. You can say, oh, I'm sorry this person died, but guess what, you're gonna die too. So so it's just the happiness here is temporary. The happiness over there is forever, and then we maybe get to have another experience in another body. That's my belief, where I subscribe to Hinduism, reincarnation. So yes, proof for reincarnation in my life came when I was 26, 27 years old. And at that time, I lived in Chicago, but I was being pulled to Las Vegas, like this enormous pull. I wanna live in Las Vegas, and so I moved to Las Vegas. And one day, I was driving. Las Vegas has Blue Mountain Road, which is the mountains, and I'm driving that road, and I'm a woman, and I'm driving a red car, a red SUV, and in my mind, as I'm driving, I see that I'm a man, and I'm driving a black car, a black Packard. You know those old cars? I'll show you. Here it is. So I'm talking to myself, and I'm like, Violetta, you're a girl. You're driving a red Mitsubishi, and in my head, I'm driving a black Packard, and I said, wow, what is this? This is a memory that is coming back to me. I'm a guy. I'm driving a black Packard in Las Vegas. So that night, I have a dream. In my dream, I die. So basically what happens is I see a parking house, and I'm running through the parking house, and all of a sudden I turn the corner, and there's two guys in suits, like, and they are pointing a gun at me, and they shoot me. And I say, oh, and I fall to the ground, and another guy comes running, and a voice says, this was your father in your last life. And he says, boss, boss, like I guess I was some kind of boss. Boss, don't go. And I said, stop crying, I have to go anyways. And I start exiting from here, and so I die, and I exit the body from the crown chakra. And not even like 2 weeks later, I went to Old Town Las Vegas, downtown, and I park at Binion's. I mean, I didn't plan for this to happen, but I park at Binion's Casino, which is an old casino. And I turned the corner, and I'm like, oh my God, this is where I died. This is where I died in my last life. And I start researching, and I start seeing that the black Packards were driven at that time in Las Vegas by mafia guys or casino owners or things like that. So that's just one of my past lives. I also remember other past lives as a Native American, as an alien forms, and so on. I mean, my life was definitely, or is definitely, not a regular life. I have memories of many, many, many lifetimes. And so that's part of my mission. That's part of why I want to stay alive, like I told you in the beginning. So yes, in the beginning, I told you I'm dealing with this blood clot, or with this rare blood condition, mutation of the blood called V. Leiden. And it affects about 3% of Northern Europeans. Other races don't even get it, but here we are. The reason why I'm okay and happy is because I know that I could die right now, or with all my issues, I could die at 96, right? I do believe it's predestined. I do believe God is the one in charge. In all my religious studies, I do believe there's only one God and one force field. Everybody else is like the managers that are below him. So yes, I am okay with dying at any time. The only thing I would prefer and I would love to do is finish my mission on Earth. That's all. Write more books, talk more. That's it. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't. But truly, any of us can go at any time. So we should appreciate life and not spend it arguing about religion. I think God would appreciate us more if we honor each other. For example, when a person dies, do you really think that there's like a guide and he's like, oh, you're Muslim? Oh, Muhammad alayhi salam is waiting over there. You're Hindu? Oh, Krishna is over there. He's waiting. Oh, you're Christian? Jesus over here. Also, when you pray, You can pray in any language. You can pray from belonging to any religion. You pray to the one God, to God, and prayer gets answered no matter what religion. So I'm not saying this to say, like, if you love your religion, I honor you, I honor your religion, I honor that. But I'm saying that we should look for commonalities rather than fighting, like, who's right, who's wrong. I think God would appreciate the love more than anything else. So yes, I've talked about this. I'll continue talking about this. It's one of my favorite topics in the world, is deep philosophy. And yeah, that's it. Life is sweet, but life goes on also, even after death. And yeah, that's it. We're together until we're together no more on this channel. But life is sweet. Honor it. Keep searching for truths. Keep doing what makes you happy. um it's not the end. Even if we die, it's not the end. I know that for sure. I mean, come on, I've lived through so much knowing that's not the end. That the way I look at life, it's a force field. And I will talk about this too, because there was a doctor actually, and she got a stroke, and she started seeing codes in the reality. It happened to me once in Chicago. I was driving and the whole city turned into codes. I know people won't believe me. People think I was on something. I wasn't. I'm telling you, from little kid, since I was a little kid, strange things happened to me. And I know we're all strange in our own way, and we all have had some kind of experiences, and we should share it more. I feel we should share it more without the stigma of, oh, crazy. No, it's not crazy. It's an experience a person had. We don't have all to have same experiences for something to be valid. And so yeah, so we're here. I'm here until I'm not. And only thing I can do when I'm not is encourage you to study and have an open mind and keep learning, keep reading. And until the end, I will keep talking and being here with you and online with you and writing books. I have written so many books, or have written, and I haven't published anything. That's my mistake. I hope I get some time to publish it. And yeah, life is sweet. Live it the best you can and love each other. Love each other. Because love, you're never going to regret. Hate, you're always going to regret. That's it for now. Enjoy. See you on this side or the other side or any side. Energy never dies. So it's just the body that stops working sometimes. And if you have lost someone and you're sad, know that they're definitely not sad. They're probably over there, continuing their life without the body that you used to. So don't be sad too much. Don't focus just on this life. Know that there's another life. There's other lives, in fact. Study religion, any religion you're drawn to, but always know that there's one God, only one force field, and everybody else, is managers. Like I told you, I've studied pretty much every religion. Even in Hinduism, where they worship many gods, when you look at the Vedas, the truth is one God, but then through ages, there were stories and people stopped studying Vedas directly. They started, believing in different gods. And okay, that's who am I to tell them different, But yeah, the wonders of life on earth. So we'll continue as long as we're here together. Until then, take care of yourself and each other. And if you have someone pass away, don't be, be sad, but also don't be so sad, because trust me, only their body passed and their spirit is flying around. That's what my spirit will be doing. Like, if I pass away, you better be sure I'll be burnt, zooming through the universe. Hello, aliens. Hi, past lives. Hi, my guides. How did I do this lifetime? That's what I'll be doing. So nobody should be sad for me. So if you've lost someone, know that they're well taken care of on the other side. And be happy and continue your life, not in grief, but in happiness, if you can. And look for God. Look for God. God will help. Look for God. God is your best friend, your only friend, the truest friend you can ever have. And I know some people say, well, I prayed to God that this person wouldn't die, but they died. Why did God do this to me? I would suggest study, get into any religion, get into several religions and study and understand that it's not just linear. Experience is not just good and bad, not just linear. It's very intricate, complicated, and you're always safe because no matter if you live or die, you're still in God's force field. And I will talk about this in depth. I know I will live. I think so. And what's interesting? The thing that happened is, while I was having this blood clot issue, my leg was hurting. It's in my leg currently. And I went to the doctor and they said, no, you don't have anything. But I had a dream. And in my dream, I had a clot. And in my dream, it showed me the location of it. I went back and I said, please examine this location. They're like, no, we're the doctors. I said, you're wrong. And so I went to another doctor, and they did a thorough exam where I told them and they found it. And so I'm going to sue the other ones. Probably if I stay alive, it doesn't matter right now. Right now, staying alive is the most important thing. But yeah, cherish your life. Cherish every day. I know it's easier said than done, but we're here until we're not. And after that, we're somewhere else. But let's study, let's talk, and I'll continue this as long as I can, and then we'll go from here. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it. Stay close to God. Search for God, no matter your background. God is one. God is there for you. God loves you. For sure, I know that.